Hello and welcome to the Connect Cape Fear podcast, a place where people from all over come to find community in this great place that we call home. Our guest today is Christine Burrows from the PickleBall Corporate team building. Christine, welcome to the Connect Cape Fear podcast. How are you doing today?
I'm good. A little cold.
I didn't just notice this. We went a little matchy-matchy. A little matchy-matchy. It's a little chilly. It's not too bad.
That's all right.
It's unseasonably cool here. So I think the number one thing I hear from people when they want to move here was like the weather was a big driver, on top of the beach and the downtown, all the great things that we have here. But for those of you that haven't moved here, aren't traveling here, it's in the 30s.
It's chilly.
It's chilly. Maybe consider Charleston, or South Florida's great this time of year.
Bring your potted palms in.
Yeah, exactly, right. Yeah, we've got a giant plumeria that I've been bringing in and out all year. So, well, Christine, thank you so much for joining us. How long have you been in Wilmington for?
Right, so we moved from Indiana, so you know it's like -5 up
Yeah,
there,
it's
I'm
cold
feeling
and
balmy.
fly over the
Right.
States right now, yeah.
We bought down here about 5 years ago, and we're doing the back and forth,
Okay.
and now we have lived here for about a year and a half.
Okay, and
chose it strictly on geography.
yeah, you're down on the island, right?
Yeah,
You're down in Carolina Beach. Yeah, it is a great geography. We've got, and I love Carolina Beach with Fort Fisher and Caribbean, like all that down there is such a unique part of the eastern seaboard that I would encourage people to go visit in
Kind
season.
of undiscovered, too.
Yeah.
I mean, I know locals think it is, but a lot of people have never even heard of Carolina Beach, and there's 7,000 people who ride their bikes to their bars, to their beach. And
Yeah. It's a
great.
great little community. Very great little community. Tell us about PickleBall Corporate team building. When I saw your name come across from Jenna and Judy that we were going to have a pickleball conversation, I got very excited. There's a lot of hype around pickleball. What is it that y'all do?
Sure. So we are PBCB, which is actually my husband's initials, Peter Burrows, and mine, Christine Burrows.
Okay.
Happen to work very coolly into PickleBall Corporate team building.
Okay, the team is silent
we put that
in
kind of
the initials,
parentheses,
yeah.
But, we both love pickleball. We did this little, have you ever heard of Kaizen?
Yeah, of course, yeah. Oh, yeah. From Japan, the process of refining a process, Toyota made it famous post-World War II.
There you go.
Yes, I know
You know
Kaizen, yeah.
So my personal little what's next in this like career trajectory, did a little exercise. What do I love to do? I love to play pickleball.
Okay.
What am I good at? I'm pretty good at it. What does the world need? Well, maybe they don't need pickleball because everyone's doing that, but maybe businesses, and I have a corporate background in HR and people professions, maybe they need help retaining their employees. What can we monetize? We could find a way for organizations to come together and have some fun with this craze, this easy access sport, but at the same time build up their teams to be better communicators, collaborators, strategizers, bonded together.
You see, you say it's a craze, and I agree with you. For me, it feels like it might be one of those ones that's here to stay, though. For a lot of reasons, like you've got the Tom Brady's of the world investing in it, and we went on a cruise 2 Decembers ago, so December of 2022 on Royal Caribbean, and they had pickleball courts, and I just was like, I'm just going to do a case study. I sat there and I watched people play pickleball all day long on a cruise ship, sometimes the same people over and over and over again, literally holding serve. And so it feels like this is one of those things where, yes, it's very exciting. Yes, it's very new. It's the fastest growing sport in the country, but that it's so accessible for such a wide range of the population that it might have some permanence to it.
It might have some legs. I mean, we're all banking on that. I'm a lifetime tennis player, and 3 years ago I was 90% tennis, 10% pickleball.
Yeah.
And now I haven't picked up a tennis racket in 6 months. But I will tell you, like if you go to municipalities where they have public facilities and the tennis courts have been underutilized, they're reversioning them. They're making them into either, playable pickleball with lines on both sides, or they're reversioning them completely and making them into, pickleball courts for people. So for sure, there's energy around it. The low access point is huge. It's sort of funny. If you don't mind, I'll tell a quick story.
Of course, please.
So 4 or 5 years ago, my husband and I were invited by some friends to their backyard court on a Friday night to come play this game. So they didn't really know how to play. And they just gave us the ball and the paddles, and we drank beer, and we had fun, and we ran up to the net, and we slammed the ball, and we're like, we'll come back again. So we did this all summer long, playing this game. The next summer we come back, and they say, we learned this rule. There's this kitchen, this like 7-foot distance where you can't take a ball in the air.
Okay.
You have to let it bounce.
Yeah, okay.
I'm like, what?
This is so much fun. I want to be at the net.
I want to be slamming balls.
Yeah.
And so we're like, oh, okay, maybe it's not our thing. Well, at the same time, my 80-year-old mother-in-law said, I think you guys would love this sport. And I'm like, well, I'm definitely not playing.
Yeah.
If old people are playing and I
I'm
can't
out.
slam it up, I'm out. And then, of course, we heard a little bit more about it. We stepped back onto the court. We, drank the Kool-Aid and we're all in. And to your point, people play all day.
Yeah.
And it's highly social. It has this element where you don't just have to have 4 people playing. You can have 7 or 8 people and some are sitting around talking.
Yeah.
Maybe drinking beer.
Yeah.
So it's much more of a social experience.
Yeah. And is that how PickleBall Corporate building came to be? Is you saw all of that and you're like, hey, I'm going to get in on this from a business perspective?
Yeah, I think there was that momentary thought of which way can I use my love to be entrepreneurial.
Mm-hmm.
But I really wanted to marry skill sets rather than just investment money because, investing in a facility has a lot of risk because what if it is a craze and you've got all this money in that? But this is a service industry that we're providing, and I definitely feel like I have a coaching, team building experience that I can bring to this.
Yeah.
And I think that the court, because of its easy access, people of all athletic abilities, people of all professional capabilities can step under a court and it's kind of equalized.
Yeah.
And then you can play little drills that encourage people to think a little bit about how they are interacting with their partner or their opponents in ways that reflect back to the way that they work.
Nice. Can you connect the dots there a little bit? Like give people maybe a story from a client that you've worked with that kind of brings all those things together. I've sat in that. I've hosted team building events. We did. I Fly was one of the ones that I did with one of my teams out in Dallas, and they still text me to this day like, that was so much fun. But then also, it's very difficult, to learn how to free fall in 2 minutes and to get any like real meaningful time in the activity, where this, I'm sure people will sit on, like, they're like, cool, I got a half day off work to do some team building. I'm outside, I'm breathing fresh air, like, I'm committed to this. Can you tell some stories about, some client case studies that you might have worked with that can paint the picture for people?
I can. So our experience is essentially a 3-hour experience. And we don't cover serving, we don't cover scoring.
Okay.
But we bring everybody in. So say there's 20 people. We'll have coaches on 3 different courts. We hand them a paddle, we hand them a ball, and let them feel it, bounce it, show them the lines, dink it over the net a little bit. And then we spend the lion's share of our time together doing these little mini drills that have cute little names. I'm calling them pickleisms.
Pickleisms.
And each one of them has some correlation to the way that we interact as humans or colleagues. So for instance, paddles up is just a readiness position. I got my paddle ready, so if a fastball comes, I know I'm going to get it.
Yeah.
I'm also showing to my partner, look at me. I'm ready. I'm available. I'm playing this game. I'm here.
Yeah.
So like one of the companies we did this with now calls their morning stand-ups paddles up because they all enjoyed the energy around that, and they also appreciated that it wasn't just being ready, it was, hey, look at me, I'm ready also.
Yeah.
And then another one is R's with an X through it.
Okay.
Because you can't both hit the ball.
Okay.
So in any kind of rally sport, you have to say to each other who's going to get it, and you're going to hold each other accountable. So we do a little communication drill. Everybody who hits it has to say, mine, yours, you, I got it. And then a little bit of a, you did say you were going to get that.
Yeah, right, exactly.
So now that's the same thing back in the...
I missed it. I couldn't get to it. I'm sorry. Yeah.
I tried.
Learning how to do that in a corporate environment is sometimes very important too as well.
Right, and so it unpacks some of that in a very light, easy way. And then after we've gone through about 10 of these, and they're all fun, little ways that build upon the sport, but also, metaphorically make you think a little bit about your colleagues, then we play. We compete, because playing and competing brings out this other side. You've got the boss and the mailroom person on the same court. You've got construction and finance on the same court, and they're kind of transcending the business lines, and they're competing and they're having fun. And then you come off the court each time, and you can give like prizes and awards to people who showcase the pickleism. So even if they didn't win the event, they're showing that they're really good at communicating or controlling their game or their body language or whatever it is. And then we give out prizes.
Yeah.
So people leave feeling like one woman came and said, I thought we were playing baseball. So she showed up. She was really
Yeah.
like, "What's happening?
Yeah.
We're on a court.
I
It's
don't want to
kinda
play
chilly.
baseball.
I'm
Yeah.
not By the time we left, she's like, "Where do you think I can go get a paddle?"
Yeah.
But she
How
also,
do I get started with this?
and then we had videoed her serving, and she was feeling really positive
Yeah.
about herself. And people within, she was in finance, and so people within her team were all of a sudden seeing her being lighthearted, and it just brings out other sides of people too.
Yeah, yeah. She's not all X's and O's all the time. She's got some character and some life and some
she can
energy
play
and
to win.
emotion. Yeah, yeah. I love that. That's so much fun. Have you trademarked pickleisms yet? Because I might jump on that and
Yeah,
get a
so-
whole merch line around it.
That's basically why I was slow to tell you all
Okay.
of them, because it's in the hands of the lawyers now.
Okay, good.
So we do have a little bit of a 3-5 year plan, and
Yeah.
in fact, I have a guy who just contacted me from Oregon, because I do a lot on LinkedIn about our content and team building. And the guy contacted me and he said he's let's say a leadership coach, and he's working with a business and he wants to use pickleball, and he said, "Can you consult with me?"
Yeah.
And I can surely consult with him, but I don't want to give away everything
Yeah.
yet, because we might license this, we might, I don't know, franchise it?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's different. It's different than, like, we're partners with Beau Rivage,
Okay.
and we're partners with the Hop. So we have facilities that are marketing our corporate team building.
Yeah.
We're doing our program at their places. We have a unique offering. They were just saying, "Hey, you can come and play," and anybody can do that. I can run a round robin tournament. I've been doing that, for a while. But that's not what this is. This
Yeah.
is team building.
Yeah, yeah. Well, if it helps anyways with the lawyer, like, this is now on the public record, intellectual property is there, we can submit it as Exhibit A, so that way nobody goes and rips off your intellectual property.
Thank you. I will. Quick other funny little story. I used the word in December on LinkedIn. I said, "I'm a picklepreneur," and
I like that.
I thought I was making it up.
Yeah.
And a couple people bounced on it and said, "Oh, me too." And I
Yeah.
tagged some people. Well, in January, one of the people who had engaged with me introduces me to another person who now has picklepreneur.com.
Oh.
And
Always buy the website.
And I was like, "Oh, well, I don't really care. Like,
Yeah,
that
yeah,
wasn't
yeah,
really
yeah,
my thing."
yeah.
But I loved the term,
Yeah.
and he really probably had already been doing something called fitpreneur, and he was just modifying
Yeah.
it. So, sometimes you just speak a word, and it bubbles
it
up.
manifests itself there. So
all-
yeah, I'm getting all sorts of merchandise ideas on pickleisms. It's cute and it's brilliant, but it also makes you stop and think for a second. So I love stuff like that, like bringing people together. Like you said, pickleball is just an activity. It's just a vehicle with which we can interact and exchange ideas and learn more about each other and bond, and then just live a little bit of a better life. Really, I think it's what most people are kind of seeking out with all that stuff.
I know a woman, I one time played with a husband and wife couple of ours that were going through some strife. And by the end of the night, they were at the net kissing each other.
Nice.
And I turned to my husband and I said, "Pickleball is going to save the world, one marriage at a time." And so I know this
We
woman,
did it, babe. We did it.
Pickleball. Well, I know this woman who just is writing this book about essentially all the amazing stories around pickleball making people's lives better.
Yeah.
Now, trust me, there's still pickleball jerks.
Yeah.
Like any sport,
Any
right?
sport, right.
But it's good stuff right now. You have
Yeah.
a lot of people who are non-athletes entering into a place where they're having so much fun. They're making so many friends.
Yeah. Can you really consider yourself a pickle snob since it's so new? Like, I'm King Pickleball. That person, the jerks of the sport who probably, have come out with all their gear and everything looking totally professional. Like, I'm here to dominate the sport. I'm God's gift to pickleball.
What's funny is, again, lifetime tennis player, we got a lot of rules. We
Yeah.
got conventions.
Yeah.
We got clothing. We
Yes.
got 4 on a court. We
Yes.
got league play.
Yeah.
So
And all the etiquette that goes outside of
The noise,
It's
don't
like
be
golf.
loud.
It's the same as golf.
It's
You
very
have
proper.
the gentleman or gentle lady rules that are not written down on paper, but you have to adhere to some social code when you're out there.
100%.
Yeah.
But pickleball, in its most beautiful way, is not that. It's it's come in your T-shirt and
Yeah.
your fishing hat if
Whatever,
you want
yeah.
to, and a wooden paddle, and come in if you want to bring a cooler and sit on the side. Great,
Yeah.
it's social. However, personalities are personalities. So you still got the guy who's out there. He's got his measuring tape.
Yeah, yeah,
He's got
yeah.
this ball might be cracked. So you still have that, and it's anywhere you go.
Yeah. Yeah, the deep rule followers that have the manual and are going to quote subsection 1 verse 2.
Trust me.
Yeah.
There are so many forums on Facebook right now where you can get down and dirty.
Oh, I
on
bet
this
you
stuff.
can. I bet you can. I don't have that kind of time. God bless the people who do and that want to live their life that way. I'm just out there to have some fun and
Remember,
and
it started
a
with
little joy.
retirees.
It did,
And
yeah.
they have a
Oh,
lot
yeah.
of
They
time.
got a lot of time, right?
They got a lot of time to be talking about it.
We will perfect this sport and everybody will adhere to our guidelines.
Right.
Oh, I love it. So what are some teams that you work with, Christine, our last couple of minutes here together? Like, who's an ideal client for you? And what does that kind of look like?
Yeah. So a couple things. We are looking for organizations that, a team is 6 to 40 people at a time. Obviously, if you have a much larger organization, we'll just do it in multiple days. We're happy to work within small sales teams or with entire organizations of startups. And they're looking to do team building. They want something they've heard of pickleball. They think it's somewhat interesting. They want to learn a little bit, but they see it as a place to do the things we talked about. We also will work with businesses that want to use it as a networking or business development.
That's a good idea.
So I have, prior to doing this in a volunteer capacity, worked with a couple of different organizations to fundraise. So we'll run round robin tournament play.
Okay.
So we can do that for a business if they want to bring in their clients or their prospects, have some fun at one of the places where we play, and we can have food and drink and be merry and compete and play. But that isn't as much of an instructional or team building, that's just a fun experience.
Gathering, I like that. Yeah, I get tired of going to networking things that don't have some kind of activity, where it's just like, hey, let's just go work the room and see the same people over and over again. And it's like, what do you do? I sell insurance. What do you do? I sell houses. It's like, okay, I've had enough of this. I'm going to go home and get under a blanket, or I'd go do it if there was pickleball or some other activity.
I'm a doer. I hate those rooms too. I mean, I do them because I'm social and I like to interact with people. But I do think that pickleball is kind of the new golf, if you will, in the less snobby way. There's an opportunity to talk.
Yeah.
And it's not taboo. And you can be on the sideline and be talking. And
I think it's probably easier for people to pick up from a hand-eye. Golf is hard. And if you are just stepping in, I love it because I've got a background working in and around Topgolf. So, the date night, and you see the ladies come with the high heels, and I'm like, this is probably, that's not the footwear for this. And you might not have a very good time here, or you might have the best time of your life. Who knows?
Her date might come up behind her and help her.
Yeah, right. Do the little waggle swing stuff. But yeah, with pickleball, or it just the way that I see people do it, it's like you can take to it so much quicker, because it does have some hand-eye coordination and some movement to it, but it's not, uniquely complex movements like with golf, where you have to have from feet to head, everything plays a role in an effective golf swing, and being able to hit it to a point where you're like, I'm happy, I can actually do this, or see myself doing it. Where pickleball, it's easier to get that.
For sure. In fact, don't judge a pickleball player by their stroke. Because, as a tennis player, I'm a bit of a snob. These nice, clean ground strokes. They mean virtually nothing.
Yeah.
Of course, I can drive a ball, but, we want short, minimalist strokes to kind of control a small ball. And so you never quite know.
Yeah.
Somebody might be very good and not
little unconventional,
or they might be a little overweight, or they might not move as well, but they have touch and they can field a ball from anywhere.
Right.
People have surprised themselves, which is what I love about it.
I love it. Christine, I've enjoyed this conversation. I am rewarded for how excited I was to have it. If somebody wants to get in touch with you, they want to learn more about doing pickleball's networking or business development, or for some team building, what's the best way that they can find and learn more about PBCTB?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
So it's www.pb-cb.com is our website, and Christine at pb-cb.com, and let's chat.
Love it. I absolutely love it. Well, I wish you nothing but the best of luck. Hope that it is a very prosperous and successful year for you here in 2024, and that not only do you ride the wave of the pickleball craze, but that also some people's lives are changed to the part of it. Maybe they find something new, reconnect with their spouse, connect with their coworkers, and find a little bit more joy out of life on what they get to do. That's Christine Burrows from PickleBall Corporate. team building. We want to thank you for joining us on this episode of the Connect Cape Fear podcast. Until next time, go out and explore, enjoy, and try new things in this great place that we call home. We'll talk to you next time. Thanks for joining.